Did you hear what the cops said about the guy that shot up the Asian people?
Yeah, he said he had a bad day.
He's sexually frustrated too.
Sexually frustrated. Yeah.
That's been me for like the last 2 years. Where's my assault rifle and shit? Like,
Yeah.
that's
How many
not,
bodies you got?
Yeah, that's not. You know, if that guy was a person of color, he would have been like a completely different.
It'd be a completely different narrative if it was a person of color.
Yeah.
The news would just spin it as something else.
Yeah. That's a terrorist attack essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a terrorist attack.
National,
yeah. No, of course. And there's more white. There's more white terrorists than there are
absolutely
people of color who are terrorists.
Yeah, there's more terrorists inside the U.S. than outside.
Mm-hmm.
And yet here the government or the authorities are just sweeping it, kind of treating it like, oh, we had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
That really bothered me. Growing up in like a black community and black and Spanish community, like, it bothers me when they say that about, when a white guy gets off for that, like, towards like black people, Spanish people, stuff like that. But like, to have it's a different pain, it's a different anger when it's my own race. Not that I'm not upset when black lives aren't and trans lives and stuff like that, but it's a different feeling when it's one of your own, I guess. And it just made me think of like my parents or like my siblings out there somewhere that like they might not have the benefit of being 5'11", 250. They're much more susceptible, and like it makes me angry. But also angry at the attacker, angry at the people who, had a bad day. You know how many people every day have a bad day? You know how many people every day for the past 10 years has been a bad day? When are we going to stop protecting attackers and protecting their pride and, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you should be shunned.
Yeah. Because when black people do the name, the pictures everywhere, the worst,
they get the worst picture they could find.
Yeah. Even when a black person's the victim, the pictures of Trayvon Martin and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A white person could just be plainly in the wrong, and they will still be, to a point, protected. Like, he was still cuffed. He wasn't. No one. They still cuffed him.
Mm-hmm.
If he was black, he would have been tackled to the ground, probably shot on. Black people are getting shot in their sleep, and this man killed 8 women, and he was just cuffed and walked to a car. I don't know. I don't hate all white people, because that would make me just as bad as some of these people. But it's hard for me now to look at white people and not have a tinge of jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, y'all don't even know how good y'all have it. Either because you're not, they just don't know, they don't care to educate themselves, or they just don't have to experience stuff like that. So why would I learn?
They can't even accept that they can't understand.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't have the answer. And it scares me that we might go to war with China. Because it's going to be a war here, too, in America. It's not just going to be overseas. It's going to be taking place in every Chinatown. Like, these crimes are happening at a 2,300% over the last year. That's insane.
With World War II...
I'm 230 more times more likely than I was this day last year.
Mm-hmm. With World War II, the war was fought here. Unfortunately for Asian Americans in this country.
Yeah, we were put into those camps or something?
They were put into internment camps.
And not just like, who they faced, the Japanese?
Yeah.
But no, like
any Asian,
Chinese...
any Asian they could find. That's literally how it was in this country during World War II. And people always talk about, like, it wasn't a war fought on American soil. It really was.
Yeah.
Just not for you.
Right. And I hate that there's tension between black communities and Asian communities, because that whole narrative has been by the government. The government propped Asian people up, which hurt us anyway, and they tore black people down, which hurt them. But when looking at it through each other's eyes, like, yeah, the government wanted Asian people to think they're better maybe than black people given the situation, or they want black people to like look at it, oh look, they're the mild minority, you know, when really we have a common enemy, which is the racist system, but it pitted us against each other. And that's how the government's always done it. When the government could never defend itself from every minority, but how about we get them to fight each other?
Divide and conquer.
Exactly. And my friend was explaining that today, and he kind of put me onto that. Like, throughout history, the government divides and conquers their own, so that instead of having, you know, Asian Americans and African Americans and Indian Americans and Latinos and, you know, all these different minorities, we're gonna put them in one group. And now they're, instead of like 5 different entities, they're just one versus the government, and now they can't win, you know? Or we're gonna have them fight each other. A lot of racism towards Spanish and black people, a lot of racism toward, you know? Like, not only are we gonna separate them from white people, we're gonna separate them from each other. Because the thing with white people is, with their skin color, even if you separate them, they can recognize each other when they're together, if that makes sense. Whereas with, you know, different ethnicities, like, even though we're still minorities, there still is a difference between black people and Asian people and Spanish people. And the government feeds off that. And preys on that, I guess, you know? It's upsetting seeing the plan work so well. They're protecting white people. They're having minorities fight against each other instead of for each other. It's disheartening. It makes you feel a little hopeless. Because how many people of color are going to have to die before anything changes? That's the thing. Yeah, I understand it's a slow change. But there's things like violence is occurring. We're still suffering for it, you know, during the change. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. No one has the answer, really. There is no answer, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no one really to count on.
There's not just one thing to do.
Right. The leaders don't care, and the ones who care don't have the money to help or the power. I love that the black community and hip-hop and the NBA have, you know, really stood up for AAPI, which I think is Asian American Pacific Islanders.
The Atlanta Hawks had a moment of silence for the shooting that happened.
Because, you know, I can't feed into the fear, but at the same time, it's a real... It's not like fear-mongering. Like, no, people are getting killed. My parents sat down and talked to me. They're like, hey, like, you know, try and, like, keep a white person with you if you go out. Or, like, you know, they know I don't have too many Asian friends, but, like, if Asian friends, like, don't meet up in Chinatown, maybe. Don't be in a group of Asian people, you know? And it made me think of the shoot with Ella.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that on the shoot with Ella.
I did, yeah, because, like, I don't know, just to think that someone...
It shouldn't have to be a thought.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be a problem to go meet your friend in Chinatown.
Yeah.
Who happens to be Asian as well.
Right. Like, it should be a celebration of culture. Like, we're both Asian, going to a home that's been kind of, you know, flourished, or not flourished, but, you know, it's still a place of culture.
Yeah.
But instead, it's become a target, you know? Like, I try not to be afraid of anything, whether it's, you know, a human that bleeds the same blood as me, or even death itself. But I do, I guess, just fear being the victim of, like, a senseless attack, like the shooting. I would have no chance to defend myself. There's no last words, no goodbyes. I've been through a lot to get where I am, and I think I still have I'm capable of doing great things in the life I have left. To think that could just be taken away by someone that doesn't know me, that hasn't heard my story, is just basing it off the color of my skin and hates me so much that they could kill me. It makes me feel like I'm not even welcome in my own country. Which sucks, because this is the country that's given me everything. This is my home.
This is a country that champions justice.
Yeah.
And then you would get no justice.
Right. And I guess that was my point when I got called for jury duty and I was upset about it. That's like the system that doesn't vouch for me wants me to, show up 8 hours a day for them. Like, it just doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? Yeah, just the thought that it could happen, and I'm trying to limit. I'm not trying to leave the island. I'm trying to keep my shoots on the island, familiar places, maybe places that, abandoned spots, like, but not alone. I don't want to go somewhere too busy, because that runs a different risk. But I don't want to go someplace too abandoned where people might not be able to find me.
You just don't feel welcome anywhere at this point.
Yeah, no, yeah. That is like,
you can't pick your spots. It
right.
feels like you can't pick your spots, because if you go to an abandoned place, it's just more of an opportunity to kill you and get away with it. If you
right.
go to a busy place, it's just more opportunity for someone to see you.
Right.
So, you don't feel safe anywhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things when I drive around and stuff, all these houses that still have, like, Trump stuff up, like it.
Yeah.
I was never afraid of them, but now, like, I don't know.
Even without Trump, they're still who they are.
Yeah.
Trump didn't create that.
I know, but, like, when I see it, it's like, oh yeah, I wonder if they're also,
Yeah, of course.
Not every Trump supporter is racist. I don't even believe that Trump himself was racist. I think he was just an idiot, but,
I think someone who supports Trump is more likely to be racist, or outwardly racist, at least.
Right. But, I can't prove that, but I understand. Yeah, everything, like, it's tough. The weather's getting nicer. Hopefully, like, people are getting vaccines.
Mm.
I should want to go out with my friends and stuff. It could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I heard about the shooting, because where it happened in, like,
or was that a spa or salon?
So a place of work. And this guy had the balls to run in and... So he had to have known he was getting caught. He just didn't care.
Mm.
He thought that his purpose was greater than the consequences. Like, oh, I'll be put away for life for this, but fuck it. And I've been thinking about places that are safe. But there's no such thing as a safe place. It just depends if the safe people are there that day.
Yeah.
Because I want to do the shoot with Ali. It's like a family portrait. And I was thinking, like, yeah, what if someone just hates it and they just beat me senseless at Mount Loretto?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason they couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Very strange.
I think the closest thing white people had to, like, feeling that was 9/11, where they overreacted to it, and they ended up just
they also turned it into racism.
They turned it into racism, but they overreacted in the sense where we can't be safe anywhere, and then they ended up not being able to live their lives normal, because people always talk about post 9/11 America and how different the world was.
Okay, so yeah, like, I can't live my normal life. Well, welcome to
exactly
what we deal with every day.
That's exactly what you had to deal with
every single day since I've been born.
But the idea is, like, you shouldn't be living in that fear, because
right. And even after 9/11, what happened? There was an incredible surge in attacks on Muslims, Indian people, anyone with a hijab.
Yes.
Brown people in general. Like, there were laws made. I mean, the random searches have been proven not to be random.
Or they're where the police would be, but guess where the police are all the
right.
time.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Racism is something I've dealt with my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is why, like, racist bullying, like, at St. Rita's hurts so badly, because that is the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Those jokes, those thoughts that you say in front of a classroom of people might plant a seed. And then, oh, he's a school shooter. Oh, he's a terrorist. Okay, maybe in a class of 29, one kid believes you and he carries that with him his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And then this.
Well, what happened in Atlanta was a reflection of a problem that's much bigger than just this one shooting.
Right. No, xenophobia is a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, Asian people are, they're those fucking Chinese who are taking our
He's
jobs.
He's not the first person
Right.
who's racist against Asians.
Yeah.
He's not the only one out there.
And it sucks because I was just the past like year and a half, I've really started to like embrace my own culture and not that I know a lot about it, but like I'm proud to be Asian American.
Mm-hmm.
And it just happened to coincide with a time where I guess
It's not reflected back.
right.
Yep.
Asian Americans have done so much
You
for
should
this
still
country.
be proud to be an Asian American, though. That shouldn't take
Yeah.
anything away from that.
It's hard when the country you live in doesn't agree.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the American part.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be proud to be Asian American when America, oh, he just had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So he shot 8 people who look like me. And you said he had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I proud of if you've set my value there, that 8 Asian women got shot and the officer said he was sexually frustrated and had a bad day. You just put the value you made about him, first of all. Like, he's the victim. And we were just the expense. And it goes back to so much about if that's where you set my value, then that's what I'll feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're expendable like that, and he's not going to get charged nearly what he should, then I guess that's my value in this country. White guy gets shot by a black guy, the black guy gets life, if not shot on the spot. And that reflects the white man's value. How dare you take a white life? I'm going to kill you on the spot, or I'm going to take your life away. But when a black guy gets shot by a white cop, chances are he'll get off. That speaks to the value that they put on that black man's life. So you just set my value. America has given me my value and what it thinks of me. So it's hard to be proud. It's hard to be proud of my heritage when America steals it and waters it down. It's hard to be proud of my heritage when, if you look at the Chinatowns across America, they're not doing too great. They haven't been, supported by,
Mm-hmm.
the government and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're not great neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be proud of a culture that, America doesn't seem to want to support. They just want to eat the food and commercialize it, anime, stuff like that. If it makes money, then sure. But your traditions, we don't give a fuck. So right now it's hard being an Asian American, but it's hard being Asian and it's hard being American separately.
For 2 different reasons.
Yeah. I'm disappointed as an Asian person because of how America is treating me. And vice versa, I'm disappointed as an American by how we're treating Asian people. And yet I have to go serve jury duty for a system that doesn't seem to give a fuck about me. And if I don't, Yeah, they'll knock on my fucking door.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a federal crime or some shit. So, and then you get the people, oh, would you rather be back in Korea? That has nothing to do with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed to live in this country. I do think it has the potential to be the greatest country in the world.
Ever.
But I think we have potential to be an A+ student, and we're really getting Fs right now. From what our leaders are doing, to even the options we have as leaders, to the government, to the system it's built on, to the justice system, the prison system, everything. I think Asian culture should be celebrated, but instead, it's something that puts a target on your back. Like, if I was Asian, I would never wear a traditional outfit these days. That's putting a target on your back. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I'm at a point in my life where, yeah, I'd love to celebrate my culture. But it's not safe to.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I for the last, 2 years, I wanted to get a Korean flag on my car. And my dad was like, no, I don't want you getting shot over that. And he's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's right. And that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
That every block in America, you can hang an American flag, even after slavery, after internment camps, after, nuking countries, after injustice against black people. People are flying that flag everywhere. It's on NASCAR cars. It's on, in the start of every basketball game, every sporting event. There's a huge flag.
You gotta stand up every morning.
You gotta stand up. Yeah, you have to memorize something that I don't know because I went to Catholic school young. But it's worship, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if I fly my flag, even still as a citizen, I might just fucking die for it.
Yeah. And it's not even your option. Like, it's not even your choice to die for it.
Yeah.
Some people get to make that choice.
Right.
People go overseas to make that choice to die for their
Exactly.
country. But yours gets taken away.
Right. And it's hard to, the model minority hurts us more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's not true.
it's not true. We're treated just as badly as any other minority. And I think you know that when you're a minority. You know that those numbers don't mean shit. Oh, here's the percentage of Asian American hate crime. No, but everyone has faced equal. I can almost guarantee you if you put, because there is a list of, technically who has it worst.
Yeah.
Black, Latino, Jewish, disabled people stuff. Bullshit. We all face it. The only people that don't face discrimination are white males, pretty much. And it just sucks that I'm powerless.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally nothing I can do.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I don't even have time to, I haven't even really absorbed the fact that this is happening, that the Atlanta thing happened. That's because I'm just trying to stay busy and not fear for my life and kind of be like, oh, I can't live in fear, so I got to keep moving.
Yeah. Because that's what they want at the end of the
Right.
day. For you to be afraid.
Right. But at the same time, I don't get a chance to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get when I really think about it, it makes me really upset and sad and vulnerable and emotional. And I don't think society's really understanding of that. Built, in a white man society, like imagine if I had a job and I called in for work. I called out for work. Oh, why? Oh, because there was a shooting. They'd be like, oh, you weren't shot. I highly doubt they would give me off from work because I need a day to grieve or a day to collect my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't. I can almost guarantee that. But I should, I feel like. You know what I mean? I'm connected to those people. There's no difference between me and them in that situation. If you just replace me with one of those women, I'm Asian too. He's going to shoot me too and kill me. If it happened here, I would have been gone. It's something that it fucks with your head, you know, like emotionally, especially. I take things very deeply. Like I'm very introspective and emotional and stuff, and like, you know, I want to be strong and keep going forward and move on. You know, I have a lot of things going for me, the business, photography, stuff like that. But like, it does take a toll on you as a person of color. Even you know, the crimes against black people took a toll on me heavily. Because in them I see me. We're fighting a similar battle, the same one, against injustice because of this color of our skin. It's hard to wake up every morning knowing that this shit could happen to you. It automatically drains you of your energy. And I see a lot of my white friends on Instagram going out to clubs, going out to bars. Restaurants are opening in the city sometimes. They're at, Highline and stuff like that. And it makes me jealous in a way. Not because it's not like, oh, you didn't invite me thing, but it's like, wow, imagine like being able to be that public and that open.
Yeah.
And vulnerable.
Because you feel like you couldn't go there.
Right. And it's not even that true because as a woman,
yeah,
there are inherent dangers that, you know?
Yeah, and that could happen anywhere too.
Right. And is. And so, you know, but I guess just the skin color thing, like...
It's something you can't control.
Right. And what scares me now is like... You know, when this was happening, when the weather was colder, I, had a hoodie up and a mask on and long sleeves and a jacket and stuff, jeans. But the more that my skin shows, whether it's my arms, legs, whatever, hands, my face, it's sunnier out, I'm going to get tanner. I shouldn't need to fucking worry about wearing short sleeves and shorts in the summer. That's so silly. Or getting even tanner in the summer, which happens to me because I tan very quickly. I get dark. Just to think that could affect the odds of me living or being attacked or killed is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it anymore, but like, yeah, just kind of, it's not a conversation that's going anywhere. I'm just rambling at this point.
But, but it's an important conversation to have for sure.
Yeah, but there's no answer to it.
There is no answer, but it still needs to be talked about.
Yeah, and thank you for listening.
Of course. That's what I need to do right now. Is just people need to listen more.
Right, sir. I feel like white people need to listen. That's the number one thing they can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, learn, observe, and then they can act on it, whether it's protesting or if you see something, say something,